Busy airport checkpoints are probably the first thing that comes to mind for most Americans when thinking of the TSA. But away from public view, inside this government facility outside of Washington, D.C., a different kind of action takes place. It's home to TSA's Transportation Security Operations Center, often referred to as the TSOC.
Okay, Steve, so now we're going out on the watch floor.
One step onto the watch floor, and you can quickly see how massive an operation it really is.
Yeah, so on a typical day, we receive an average of about 70 significant events that get reported to the TSOC.
TSOC was created in the wake of 9/11 to prevent another similar tragedy. It combines real-time intelligence and operational information across every transportation mode. TSOC's mantra is simple: communicate, collaborate, and coordinate.
We now know that this man's name was on a so-called federal terror watch list or a no-fly list.
Back on Christmas Day 2009, Nigerian Omar Farouk Abdulmutalab attempted to detonate explosives sewn into his underwear on board Northwest Flight 253 as it approached Detroit. TSOC's mantra pushed employees into high gear. In this room, a critical incident management group was set up. Detroit Airport's federal security director, along with law enforcement, kept the incident manager at TSOC in the loop. Worldwide changes were implemented on the spot in case a similar terror attempt was in the works. Federal air marshals changed their standard operating procedures, and the White House was updated. While the majority of the information sharing that day focused on aviation, other transportation modes also received a lot of attention.
Robin J, San Diego Harbor Police, Channel 16.
That includes keeping a watchful eye for any potential terrorist attack on U.S. ports and railroads.
1139, McRoberts Security, reporting a prohibited item detected at a Cape Canaveral cruise ship.
But it's the reminder of 9/11 and the continuous threat to aviation that remains the major focus.
So we have a number of different screens up. Primarily right now you're looking at air pictures.
Those screens you see are actually radar feeds. They give staff the ability to track any aircraft of interest. And those significant events of interest run the gamut.
It ranges from a guy forgetting he had a firearm in his bag and going through a checkpoint to someone exceeding the amount of liquids they can have going through the checkpoint. Everything that happens that could be security related is reported to the TSOC.
Those making up the front line are called watch officers. They not only handle incoming calls from the field and brief their command duty officers with real-time information, they are simultaneously listening to this.
The 369er Romeo Kilo departed at AAO.
What you're hearing right now over that loudspeaker is what's called the Domestic Events Network, more commonly known as the DEN.
That DEN originated on 9/11 as several federal agencies set up a telephone conference for situational awareness as the horrific events of that day unfolded. The FAA, TSOC, and numerous government agencies keep each other informed of potential critical events over this network. Almost 13 years later, that DEN has never been hung up. And during this time, there have been several challenging national incidents which first came to life over that network. We asked Zach McCormick about his most trying time on the watch floor. Do you remember what it was? Do you remember the day?
And I can talk about it without hesitation, because by far the most tense day was the day of the LAX airport shooting.
The latest now on the LAX shooting that left one TSA agent dead.
Back on November 1st of 2013, a 23-year-old man entered Terminal 3 of Los Angeles International Airport and fired a semi-automatic rifle, killing TSA officer Gerardo Hernandez and wounding several others. Hernandez became the first TSA officer killed in the line of duty.
So we've had a number of incidents of national significance in which we managed out of the TSOC. But what was unique about that one was there was the emotional toll of our own had been affected.
As word of the LAX shooting reached TSOC, members of leadership were being updated from this room.
Out on the floor, the watch officers, the supervisors, were reaching out to the different law enforcement agencies, as well as TSA internally, field elements, to get the latest. What's going on? How are our people? What's the latest reporting from the field?
The tragedy at LAX illustrated how TSOC personnel have been trained to focus on their mission to maintain that situational awareness.
There is a lot of adrenaline and there's a lot of emotion, particularly in something like that where we know our own could be affected. But we really pride ourselves in controlling that emotion and still continuing that professionalism. When there's serious incidents going on, outsiders may not even realize it.
And if there's one group of folks at the TSOC that would like to keep it that way, it's the Federal Air Marshals. Insiders refer to them as FAMs. They're a unique breed of law enforcement.
They need to be able to work in a readily paced, fast-changing environment. Because again, you never know what you're going to get here. Right now, it's a little bit quiet, but at the drop of a hat, it can all change.
Every day, TSOC employees pass by this memorial to 9/11. It's made from a structural beam of the World Trade Center's North Tower. At the very base, limestone remnants from the Pentagon. And the V-shaped piece is from the aircraft fuselage of United Flight 93. All a daily reminder of why the TSOC exists.